We're back here with part 3 for this GGN news report for Wednesday, November 13th, 2013. I'm Darko. My website is ggnonline.net. And on YouTube, my channels are ddarko2012 and ddarko2013. I'm going to cover Big Brother surveillance news, conspiracy news, and just different stuff in this last video. Of course, the big story is shootings. 3 students shot near Pittsburgh High School. They're investigating a shooting that occurred Wednesday afternoon outside a high school in Pennsylvania. So they're talking about the class was dismissed as a school only minutes before the first shots were heard. So shots fired, shots heard. Says 2 blocks from the school. So this is a good scenario for this, right? ShotSpotter. ShotSpotter offers gunfire detection to Bay Area schools after mass shootings. This is just from 11/11. November 11th, 2 days before. This company, SST, unveiled Monday a gunshot detection system for schools that they hope helps police respond faster in the case of mass shootings. I always love when they put this in here, but this is engineering consent right here. This is a big indicator. But privacy advocates elicited concerns about the surveillance technology, and I'm sure they're going to have a say. Continuing on here with engineering the reader's consent, a handful of schools, including one Oakland charter school, plans to begin using a new version of the gunfire alert technology, ShotSpotter, which can detect gunshots and pinpoint the exact location and the time the bullet is fired inside a large building. So it sounds nice and everything, but the only problem is that they don't ever prevent these attacks because, like I said, they don't ask the right questions about society. They want more police, more guns, more surveillance, and of course, majority of the time, these guys put a bullet through their effing head, so it's not like it's going to really matter if you find the guy, right? I mean, if the guy doesn't kill himself, mass shooting, murder, suicide, the cops are going to fill him through full of holes. That's just, I don't know, that's just based off what's happened. So 4 people killed in a Phoenix shooting. 4 people have been killed in a shooting at the North Phoenix home in Arizona. A police sergeant said a man killed his estranged wife, their teenage daughter, and a male friend on Tuesday before shooting himself dead. Says that Crump added that the woman's body was burned in the home's backyard, while the daughter's body was inside the home, and the other victim was found shot in the yard. The incident happened after a gunman killed 3 people dead in New York City before killing himself on Monday morning. And so I covered a string of stories like this. So talking about ShotSpotter and the reaction to these mass shootings, a new NCIS leader is going to create SWAT teams to counter mass shootings. Like they don't already have enough, but the Navy's top lawman has fast-tracked the creation of SWAT-style teams of NCIS agents who will be better armed and more suited to respond to active shooter threats on Navy and Marine Corps bases. Moving on here, the Seattle Police Department disables its mesh network, the new apparatus capable of spying on you. So they're going to deactivate its wireless mesh network, a powerful tool for sending vast amounts of data that also has powerful surveillance potential. In theory, the network built by a California-based company called Aruba Networks could track and indefinitely log the movements of any wireless device with a MAC address, phones, laptops, tablets that move through its coverage area. So when I hear this stuff, I just think that they're doing it already. The possibility of a police department creating a historical digital map of the city or using a system for real-time location of individuals without government or civilian oversight has some serious implications. So what is someone going to do about it? Like I said, probably nothing's going to get done. Your cell phones are already tracked. It's just basically saying that it's going to be done on a local level. An intelligence agency seeks facial recognition upgrade. I covered, again, a slew of articles on facial recognition being rolled out. So this is all pushing it forward, engineering people's consent that this is going to happen whether you like it or not. That's the point I'm trying to stress here. Nobody's going to have a real say, privacy advocates, but privacy advocates doesn't really matter. So that's what these articles are here to do. The U.S. intelligence community is pushing a leap forward. Pushing forward in facial recognition software that will enable it to determine better the identity of people through a variety of photographs. So in other words, I could say that the intelligence community is pushing this forward, this recognition software, whether you like it or not. The program is run by Intelligence Advanced Research Projects, or IARPA. So they basically want to improve this face recognition performance using a bunch of collected images and video. People laughing, smiling, frowning, yawning, and morph their faces into a broad variety of expressions. But hey, civil liberties groups such as ACLU and Electronic Privacy Information Center have raised concerns about unchecked use of facial recognition software, so they raised concerns. Better watch out. NSA and DARPA and all them, CIA, Incutel. The second operating system hiding in every mobile phone. So it's always, I've always known this, and I'm sure most of you do, but we never talked about it. Every smartphone, when they're not supposed to talk about it because it was engineer consent that this is supposed to happen. This was safe, and that this didn't exist, and you trusted the establishment. So that's why you didn't talk about it. Every smartphone, they got you talking about Miley Cyrus or some shit. Every smartphone or other device with mobile communications capability actually runs not one but two operating systems, aside from the OS that we end users see, and Android's iOS Palm S. It also runs a small OS that manages everything related to radio. And since this functionality is highly timing dependent, a real-time operating system is required. So talking about this second operating system, the insecurity of this software is not by error, it's by design. The standards that govern how these processors and radios work were designed in the 80s. It says here that this processor automatically trusts every instruction, piece of code, or data it receives from the base station you're connected to, asking what could possibly go wrong. Government spying is causing self-censorship, so privacy fears among U.S. writers. In the wake of revelations about intrusive government surveillance, many American authors are worrying about the freedom of press, and some are simply avoiding controversial topics. So a new report called The Chilling Effects, NSA Surveillance Drives U.S. Writers to Self-Censor, finding 85% of writers are worried about government surveillance of Americans, and nearly three-quarters, 73%, have never been as worried about privacy rights and freedom of the press as they are today. That's what I think, the whole NSA thing with the WikiLeaks and Snowden, it's like there was two things. I mean, there's all kinds of things going on there, but one of them was to tell people that that were already aware of this, that it's actually real. It's not just in your head, and that leads to self-censorship. And then the other thing is for, to the people that are just out there blind that said, oh, well, we're not supposed to talk about this. Those type of people that didn't talk about it. For them, now they know. And since they know, as long as they're not doing anything wrong, they have nothing to feel bad about. But see, these writers who are talking about this stuff are going to be criticizing it, so that is doing something wrong. So they said, I assume everything I do electronically is subject to monitoring, says a writer. 16% of writers have avoided writing or speaking about certain topics due to threatening privacy concerns, and 11% seriously considered such avoidance. Gulag Justice has Alabama bloggers been jailed in a secretive scandal. So, oh yeah, it's troubling the free speech advocates. An Alabama journalist who blogged about allegations of a sordid affair between a powerful Republican and a lobbyist has been arrested and now sits in jail on contempt charges. I think they came up with some bogus reason why, besides him writing what he did. But advertisements laud birth control. So switching gears here into social engineering, critics blast Ho insurance. The Colorado campaign highlighted brosurance takes heat over birth control. So it says here that it drew scorn after ads featured keg stands and urging young men to get brosurance is now taking a fresh abuse over racier ad. So now it says here the ad is being accused of demeaning women, features a young woman holding pills next to the young man. Her thoughts, oh my God, he's hot. Let's hope he's as easy to get as this birth control. So Progress Now Colorado, a consumer health initiative, the groups behind the ads, are demeaning and belittling women with shallow sexual caricatures and making light of serious women's health issues. So that's taking the pill and preventing something from happening is women's health. That's they call it reproductive health. It is killing the result of an action. But I've talked about this before. It's the destruction of the family unit, one of the biggest forms of resistance to this power structure that we have right now is the family. It's under complete attack. So a good way to continue the attack is to promote stuff like this, which is just sleeping around. That's basically what that's promoting. I mean, you could just possibly see that in a club or in a bar bathroom. Next to the condom machine, you have here young teen girls can't buy Sudafed, but Plan B okay. I don't know if you'd want to buy Sudafed either, but either way, it just goes to show you. New undercover videos expose the fact that the FDA regulations are stricter for common cold medication than for Plan B. It says here it has women posing as 15-year-old girls attempting to simultaneously purchase the emergency contraceptive Plan B. So, and cold Sudafed, cold medicine Sudafed. The teenagers are asked for identification, and when they say they don't have any ID, are told they can't purchase Sudafed. However, they are allowed to purchase Plan B. Besides possibly causing early abortions, it says here that it encourages risky behavior that can result in STDs and unplanned pregnancies. And that's the thing. They want to increase people to not form these bonds or anything and ride it out here, which would be probably better for society. They're going to have side effects, and of course the condoms and the HIV test and all that. That's the result of it. And they really do put up a lot of scare campaigns as far as HIV to get people to wear condoms, but really what it's aimed at is not getting pregnant. Which is why I think the whole thing's just a bunch of crap, because they call it Planned Parenthood, but most of the births are going to be unplanned. But for whatever it's worth, record HIV rate spurs Florida district to adopt sex ed programs from schools. So, and it says here that it's a national trend. They're showing that rates are consistently higher in areas that do not offer comprehensive sex education in schools. So it doesn't mean that places that don't have the education aren't having, whatever sex, but promiscuous, whatever premarital sex. It's just that they're not wearing condoms and they're not doing what the social engineers say to do. Abortions, surrogacy are leading to human extinction, says a Russian MP. Says the problems of abortion prevention and the shift in public opinion towards it are currently very urgent. Although the number of abortions in Russia is falling, it still exceeds 5 million a year. He says that they need to stop tolerating abortions and surrogacy as they threaten to wipe out the population of Russia and the world as a whole. He says we can still stop the consequences of this practice from happening. He says humanity will probably understand one day as we ban nuclear weapons to prevent the death of the earth. So should we ban the technology destroying the natural environment and natural childbirth, the natural way of human reproduction? Says Dan Savage, I don't know who that is, but he gets $24,000 from Oregon University to talk to students about gay sex and fetishes. So they paid a homosexual activist and X-rated sex device columnist 24,000 smackaroos out of student funds to give a presentation at the launch of a university-sponsored graphic smartphone sex education app. So the whatever registrar guard described it as a blunt and provocative presentation. What some may call provocative, however, has been described by others as outrageous and beyond the pale. Flipping through his cards, they said that he had questions dealing with the sexual act of fisting to gorilla suit fetishes. Then a Prince Edward Island guide for parents says healthy for kids to masturbate and touch genitals of familiar adults. Also, to look at nude pictures on the internet, videos, and magazines, parents are also... this guide will be stocked at family resource and healthcare centers across the province. We're going to be talking about this Albert Pike's plan for the 3 world wars. And in the Third World War, talking about pitting Zionism against the Muslim world, which is we're seeing right now. It said they'll unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, which in all of its horrible show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and the most bloody of turmoil. So it's not that I'm promoting Christianity here or I'm completely bashing atheism. I'm just trying to show you that there's a script being played out here. Wherever this power constructor, whoever it is, they know this, and these people are going to be disillusioned when they lose contact with their religious roots or whatever, and they'll be without compass or direction, and they'll go directly to them. Look at this. Atheist megachurches are taking root across the U.S. and the world. They've been fueled by social media. It says here that there are hundreds of people bombed by their belief and non-belief. It said the movement dovetails with new studies showing an increasing number of Americans are drifting away from religious affiliation. I couldn't believe this story. A Christian college student president comes out as an atheist saying, "I don't have to hide anymore." And as a British man's facing a gay sex trial in Africa where they don't tolerate it, The exact opposite. Hillary's telling the UN gay rights are human rights and human rights are gay rights. Thank you.